Welcome to this Sunday's Gospel Reflection. How can God succeed to make us change our ways? In the parable of the vineyard, Jesus recounts how God puts in all his best efforts to make his vines produce the best wine. He put a hedge around it, dug a wine press in it, built a tower. He equipped his vineyard with all that was needed to produce good wine. Then he offered it to the tenants to tend it so that it will bear abundant fruits. He trusted them with this precious vineyard. When it was time to harvest the grapes, he sent his servants to help out. But the tenants refused to hand over the harvest to their master. They killed the poor servants, forgetting that they were just tenants and not the masters of the vineyard. Is not this the story of humanity, of each one of us? How hard it is to live life as a gift entrusted to us rather than something we own or we possess by rights. From the very beginning, the human temptation was and still remains our inability to receive gifts. Adam and Eve, our first parents, were given a whole garden of wonderful fruit trees. It was not enough for them because there was one single forbidden tree they could not touch. They were not satisfied until they took possession of that single special tree also. They wanted to have it all, right up to the last tree in that vast garden. How hard it is for us humans to live by the gifts that we are given rather than by the rights that we claim to have. This is why, for us humans, enough is never enough. Gifts are signs of love, whereas rightful possessions are signs of conquest or power. This is the root cause of all wars, conflicts, destructive competitions. We are terrified of not finding what we need or what we want, so we resort to getting what we want by sheer force. We claim and fight for our rights, little realizing that, however essential our rights, they only help us to survive. It is only love and not rights that takes us beyond survival to discover the real meaning of our lives. This is the difference between us humans and God. We are conditioned by our fragility, and therefore we are conditioned by our needs. Whereas God, He is pure love. Where there is no love, we have to resort to justice. But where there is love, we experience something much greater than justice. We experience the freedom of a meaningful life. This is the vineyard Jesus is speaking of in today's parable. The fruit of the vine is the joy of freedom. When we reduce ourselves to calculating just our rights, our life stops being a joy, and instead it becomes a sad and heavy chore. When we stop seeing others as fellow travelers on the journey, we start seeing them as competitors, and life becomes an exhausting race against the others. the journey becomes sad, heavy, fighting off the others rather than the joyful journey in good company of our fellow travelers. This is what is killing our so called modern progressive societies. When we were struggling to survive, we started to claim human rights. But soon we ended up stifled by our self serving loneliness in the name of what we called human rights. We have forgotten and discarded the simple joy of giving just for the sake of giving. We are so hell bent on getting our pound of flesh from our society, from our family, our government, economy, laws, institutions, so much so that we have forgotten how sweet and life giving is the spirit of giftedness. In simple terms, we have forgotten the joy of giving and stuck in the short lived pleasure of getting. In claiming our pound of flesh, we have lost all joy and life in our own flesh. Today, we all know our rights, but we are getting it all wrong. We are so keen on getting the most out of everything that we end up exhausted and bloated with emptiness in everything. We seem to have it all, whereas in reality, we have become addicts dying for more. We need to have more fun, buy more things, have bigger houses, cars, hold wilder parties, whilst despair, loneliness, suicides are increasing by the day around us. We have lost the joy of giving and the gratitude to what we receive. We have become crafty bargain hunters, seeking to get the better deals with the least possible efforts. But God loves us too much to let us perish in this misery. He has sent his old and modern day prophets, Francis of Assisi, Mother Teresa, Charles de Foucault, and so many other saintly people around us who help us find the way. All these holy people do not seem to be enough for us to discover the way. So patiently and lovingly, God keeps offering Jesus to us again and again. He never gives up on us. Shall we respect and accept His Son? Or shall we politely, perhaps, reject Him yet again, like the Pharisees did, because His words were too challenging, too uncomfortable to our selfish egos? Yes, Jesus is the stone that the builders have rejected, but that God has chosen to be the cornerstone of a new joy, a new happiness that nothing can destroy. It is on Him alone that we can build our lives on solid foundations. Come to me, all you who are weary and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle, humble in heart, and you will find rest in your souls. For my yoke is easy, my burden is light. God bless you and thank you.